Okay, so this is our first video.
Trial
And
and error.
yeah, there's gonna be a lot of trial and error in the first couple videos. One thing I did not really notice up until we started this is that this video will be a really good representation of what we're gonna be doing on YouTube. Fucking nothing. We're probably not really gonna talk about the movie a lot. We're probably just gonna be laughing from, camera nervousness. And also we chose a movie that has no cultural relevance at all to talk about. So what movie are we talking about, babe?
The Hangover.
The Hangover. Yes, the movie that everyone saw in like 2009 and then no one talked about since.
It was the first time I've ever seen it, so...
Yeah, so, which is actually really good because, again, you're gonna get two different views on this movie. You're gonna get a view from someone who saw this movie and loved it when it first came out, and then saw it again. I loved this movie. This movie was like the funniest thing ever to me.
Okay.
So yeah, so let's go with that because I have a feeling that's gonna be a little bit more positive than yours.
Wait. Our channel is gonna be called The Good, the Bad, and the Geeky.
We didn't do an introduction.
We still need to like officially come up with the introduction though. So
I kind of like the introduction we have. Like
I don't even know the good the one we have.
It's hey, welcome to our YouTube channel, where we talk about whatever we want to talk about in pop culture, whether it's good, bad, and especially if it's geeky.
We'll see.
Right.
We'll see if it sticks.
We're definitely gonna
give us your thoughts.
You
see who you agree
viewer,
with.
You, that's not me or her.
Tell us who you agree with more. Is that a good tagline, or should I create a new one?
Let's keep on figuring it out. I mean, our audience right now is 0. This video is probably gonna get like all 4 views, and 3 of them are gonna be from me, and 1 of them's from you.
Okay, so anyway, we're talking about Hangover.
So I remember when this movie first came out, it was hilarious. It was like the best thing ever. It was everywhere in pop culture. You had Not at the Table Carlos on T-shirts, and it was just everywhere. It was huge. That's why they got 2 sequels, which we're not watching.
Good.
So, really quick, what were your thoughts?
Basic overview thoughts?
Mm-hmm.
It had a messy plot line. Like, somebody made a plot line, and then somebody else filmed half of the movie, and then somebody else came in with that same plot line from the beginning again. Because there were some problems.
Interesting. So...
It was funny, I'll give it that.
You see, I didn't find it all that funny anymore. I definitely like the... We're not starting over. Hopefully we can find a way to edit that together.
Little technical errors, forgive us. We're still learning. Don't bump the mouse.
I'm making sure to move it away. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so I didn't find it as funny as I did when I first originally saw it. And I definitely liked the second half more than the first. What about any other small little details? Any other things you want to talk about? You got your notes?
These are my notes. Any other small little things I want to talk about? Where should I begin?
How about the top of the page?
The top of the page. Okay. First of all, I love National Treasure, and I was very surprised to see that the nerd guy from National Treasure was in this movie. I definitely didn't think that it was going to be a good fit for the character, but I was very pleasantly surprised. Thankfully,
they take him out for like
he gets taken out for most of the movie. I mean, it still fit the character.
We're not going to really go over the plot all that much.
I'm just going to go over every single one of my complaints.
Just because, I mean, it's The Hangover. It's from 2009. Either you saw it or you're just watching us make fools of ourselves.
Ripley's might attack our lights if the lighting gets weird.
Who's Ripley?
Our cat. Oh. Ripley, come here. Ripley.
No, because then people are just going to click on this video just to see our cat.
Oh no, don't touch
the cat! Leave her alone. Jesus Christ, you're way too loud.
I'm sorry.
Leave her alone. She's not doing anything.
It's 11:15 at night, by the way.
Yes, it is, so stop it.
I'm a loud person. Can I see? Okay, so My first big thought about the movie was when I found out that they were having the bachelor party in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Who the hell has a bachelor party in Vegas and intends for shit not to happen?
I mean, there's a huge difference between having a bachelor party and getting a little fucked up and getting roofied and completely fucking shit-faced. So,
but my point stands. Who has a bachelor party in Vegas and expects nothing like this to happen? I mean, granted...
You wouldn't expect me to steal a cop car and end up with a tiger in my bathroom, a kitchen that... a chicken in the kitchen that they never talk about.
Okay, this is coming from the man who loves animals. I could see him going to a zoo and stealing the tiger.
I wouldn't steal a tiger. You don't fuck with tigers.
Okay, he would probably steal me an elephant because he thought it was sweet.
Probably steal an otter.
He would probably steal me an elephant because we'd be getting married the next day and he would think it's sweet since it's my favorite animal.
I'd make sure to put it in the living room. Maybe don't mention it.
Anyway, I'm going to skip over a couple of these.
Don't skip over them. We need content. We need to make sure that the audio is going to stay in sync with the video throughout the entire video, so...
So it doesn't matter if I rant?
Yeah, ranting away.
So, as a future educator, as a future special education educator,
she came up with a fan theory about Ellen.
It's not really a fan theory.
It's a fan theory.
Is it though?
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, the fact that Phil lied to his students about the field trip and basically stole their money. Like, did none of the parents just do a quick Google search on where they were going? Because apparently it's free.
Yeah.
I mean...
The Griffith Observatory is a free location. There's no admission tickets or anything like that. And he was charging $90 a head.
So who doesn't see a problem with this? Yeah, so first of all, that's a big problem. Teachers can get in a shit ton of trouble for that. And I know that he doesn't seem to give a shit about his family or his job or, like, anything in this movie. But still, it would be a big problem in real life. So, like I said, I am a future special education major. And I did do a little bit of looking into it during the movie. I'm not going to lie, I did a Google search as to what other people thought about Alan. So obviously, pretty much everybody sees that Alan has some sort of something going on. Like, if you've seen the movie, you see it.
A lot of people... bring it up a lot that he's an oddball, not all there.
Yeah. A lot of people, you made me lose my train of thought, goddammit. So a lot of people actually have a lot of different theories about what his offness could be. Personally, as a person who not only has studied quite a bit of this and the personal interactions between people with mental cognitive disabilities disorders and other people, and the fact that I have a brother who has Asperger's syndrome, I really do believe that Alan has Asperger's. Three of the big things about Asperger's is that the person tends to not be able to consistently interact with other people. So basically what that means is one time I might be more than okay with socializing with anybody, and then another time I might mimic the person that I see as the coolest or that I most admire in the group every single time, which we see a lot. He mimics both Phil and Stu, but towards the end of the movie he definitely takes more of a liking and more of a role modelish view towards Phil, which not the best choices there, buddy, but I mean
Phil does have really good hair.
So do you.
That's the joke.
So I mean, it's definitely poked at. I definitely don't appreciate their choice of words all the time. I mean, retard and retarded and returd aren't necessarily the best choices of words.
He's retarded.
Especially when, talking about somebody who's in the car with you. The other big thing that I noticed in terms of that is that Alan very much so... What was the other thing I pointed out during the movie?
It doesn't matter. I'm pretty sure you got your point across.
Whatever then. Fine. So... I had this really funny thought towards the beginning when Stu was telling about when his wife fucked the bellhop. And I was like,
I love that title changes throughout the film.
So...
He was a bartender, by the way.
I mean, it doesn't particularly matter. So my question was, if she's allowed to fuck him when she's shit-faced drunk, and when he's somebody who helped her get shit-faced drunk, for lack of a better word, and he didn't come inside of her, are those the rules for Stu's fucking someone during this bachelor party?
I'm pretty sure the rules were no fucking or drinking, because she thinks that they're wine tasting in the middle of freaking...
Yeah, but she also thinks there's going to be strippers at a wine tasting.
She did not think there were strippers at a wine tasting.
That's why she had the whole conversation with him about...
No, the conversation was why men are barbaric with bachelor parties, and that she's happy that she found someone who's not like that, because their bachelor party is wine tasting in the middle of California.
Who does that, though? Like, really?
Who's facade of a character?
So the other thing was I had a lot of problems with Melissa, who's Stu's wife, or girlfriend, I guess, technically, as a whole. Because, I mean, relationships are supposed to be built on trust. That's the foundation of every relationship is trust and communication. I mean, we were in a long-distance relationship for basically 2 years. And so, I mean, we really see that as a very big priority when it comes to not only our relationships, but the relationships of others when people ask us for advice. Well, obviously, Melissa did not trust him at all. I mean, that's very obvious in the fact that she called men as a whole barbaric. She called on him numerous times, at least 3 or 4 or 5 that we know of during the movie. And then also the fact that she apparently scours his bank statements and ensures that he's not spending his money inappropriately. I mean, you're not married. That's his money. Let him do with it as he pleases. That's not really for you to say.
But on the other side of that argument, it's The Hangover.
Yeah, I know.
Comedy, not really supposed to take much.
And I'm nitpicking a little bit, but
a little bit.
I also definitely feel like Stu's wife kind of made him into the personified baby that he is, and I really do see that in the fact that whenever Stu became, for lack of a better set of words, shit-faced drunk, he definitely became a lot more brave and a lot more outgoing, as it's kind of implied throughout the entire movie.
Yeah, but it's also implied throughout the entire movie that whenever the three of them get drunk, they do really stupid stuff.
Yeah,
like none of them are. None of them really seemed all that surprised about anything other than Stu getting married.
And having the wrong Doug.
They steal a cop car. They steal a tiger. They freaking lock up their friend on the roof of Caesar's Palace, and they don't really seem all that fazed.
I feel like for the most part they're just like, well, that happened now. I mean,
kind of makes me wonder more about their past.
Yeah. So there was a steering wheel weird quirk thing that I noticed in one of the scenes outside of the little chapel or whatever it was, when they kind of got like attacked by the other people. When they were reversing out, Phil was in the driver's seat and Alan was next to him in the passenger seat. Well, when they turn the shot to where you're seeing the car as they're about to peel out, Alan is seen in the passenger seat going like this, and I'm like, what were you intending to have happen here?
In all fairness, someone moving erratically during, I don't know.
Yeah, but
an adrenaline rush isn't all that uncommon.
If you were driving and you were moving erratically, driving the vehicle, I would be more inclined to grab onto the sides, grab onto your armrest, grab onto the door, not go like this.
Well, you see, you know how like sometimes when you play a video game, you get so in tune that
you go like this?
Yeah. What if it's just like...
I mean, then again,
what if he was just really wanting the
problems,
steering wheel to move, and that's why he kept on doing this? Like.
So the other question that I have for Alan is, where the fuck did he get a baby carrier? Did you notice that? They had a car seat. The baby was in a car seat. The baby had several blankets.
The carrier was under there? Oh.
There's no compartment underneath.
No,
really.
I know, but it could be underneath it, like...
My other question is, why did the mother leave the baby to go get coffee with 3 men? I mean, granted, she seems to really know them,
my question is, why the fuck did she leave him in the closet?
That's a fair question, too.
Like, that's her now husband and 2 best friends. That's fine, that's semi-reasonable to leave a baby with. But in the closet?
So, also, I want to point out that Daniel sang the Tiger Doug song. Would you please give us an encore, my darling?
No.
No? Even if I pull it up on my phone?
I don't want to, like, already...
terrorize them?
This is going to be a very bad video. I don't want to make it worse.
So also, I totally called Leslie having the wrong Doug. Like, from the first time it was even mentioned, I was like, oh, he has the wrong one. I just know it. It's not Doug. It's not our Doug. It's okay. It's all gonna be good. I'm kind of proud of myself on that. So my biggest complaint was the alternative timeline. Because, I mean, the thing was, when they were sitting at breakfast, they were like, okay, so we went to the Bellagio, and we got Little Caesars, and a couple of other things. I don't remember all of them. And they knew that he had gone to the hospital. So they went to the hospital, and the doctor at the hospital said, oh yeah, y'all were just talking about how y'all had just come from a wedding. Well, they get to the wedding, and first of all, no one at the wedding has any idea how Phil would have gotten a concussion there, and presumably, they would have known, because presumably they went straight from the chapel to the hospital. And then also, Leslie had no fucking clue how he got the concussion, and I highly doubt that Stu would have, like, abandoned her right after the wedding to take his best friend to the hospital. She would have been like, oh, hey, let me go too. I know she said she had to get back to work, but she should still know how he got the concussion. Also, the other big thing about that is when they got to the Bellagio and they found out that they had been to the Bellagio for the second time, they were like, oh, hey, we went to the Bellagio. It's like, you knew that this morning.
They were also saying that they didn't trust the fact that, you know, that little timeline that they made on their mappings, they didn't trust that at all. Because they all said, hey, we don't remember any of this, so...
But, I mean, my thing is, they had it, and then they lost it. So, I do appreciate the fact that the photo montage at the very end went back to the original timeline that they had originally had. Like I said at the beginning, I definitely felt like there was a set timeline in, like, the storyboard process, and then in the actual movie making process, they were like, oh, hey, let's just do this now. And they're like, okay, sure. I mean...
Which is entirely possible.
The other thing...
New word.
Was the police car got picked up at like 5:03. I mean, not the police car, their original car got picked up at like 5:03 in the morning, but they had the police car and the tiger.
Car. Yeah.
My timeline's hot.
Well, I mean, they don't specifically say that they stole the cop car when their car got towed.
I know, but
they just say that they stole the cop car. They never really say when.
But my thing is, they left $4 in their car. It's like, if you know that you're about to steal this cop car and you're going to be running around in a police car for at least half an hour, chances are you're going to need more than $4 in that thingy. I'm not from the city. I don't know what it's called. Country girl.
Was that all the topics you wanted me to bring up?
Oh, also, I don't know if you noticed, but Alan never actually says a curse word, even when he's copying Phil.
I know.
Kind of appreciated that. Don't curse around the baby!
Rule number 1 in Alan's book. No cursing around children.
No cursing at all, actually. Because he was like, I agree. To the dad in the elevator, yeah. It wasn't just around children.
Yeah, so... back to our review-ish type part. What would you rate the movie?
On a 5-star scale?
1 to 10.
1 to 10?
1 to 10. It was a little bit more.
4.5.
4. Wow, that bad. Well, that's not that. That's a little below average.
What is average for that movie?
5.
I mean...
No, for the movie?
Yeah.
Well, remember, when it came out, it was highly acclaimed. It was like the funniest thing ever. Well, not ever, but I mean, it was everywhere in pop culture.
People need to reevaluate their opinions of funny.
I mean, funny and horror are like the two most subjective things out there.
You mean comedy?
Yeah.
Funny and horror! There we go, guys. That's our genres now.
Yeah, comedy and horror are like the most subjective things out there, because not only is a joke funny about, you know, its writing, but it's also the delivery and, you know, any context you have with the person. And it's just so much things go into a joke. And for some people it hits and others it doesn't.
What was your rating of the movie? This time around.
Originally it was like a 9 out of 10. This time around, I can't ignore how much I used to love it. So that gives it a little bit of a boost. I give it a 6 out of 10. Like just a little above average. But
just saying though, he enjoys comedy movies and comedic movies as a whole a lot more than I do. I tend to prefer dramas, action dramas, romance.
You tend to prefer romance.
I prefer a more serious plot. We'll just leave it at that.
And yet you don't want to see some of the, like...
It depends on my mood. So my last thing is I really want to go to Vegas just to see those fountains and to take a shower in that beautiful shower. Like, please, man. Please,
we're not staying in that room. Did you not hear how much it was?
It's like $4,000.
It was $4,200. Really not.
Just save your money. You can take me.
Wow. Okay. So I think that's it. We got all of our thoughts out there. We scored it. We were terrible at it. I'm pretty sure Ripley distracted me more than she should.
Yeah,
Ripley, leave them alone.
Do you want to show them, Ripley?
No, it's fine.
She tried to pull our light down, and she straight up manned our camera for like 4 seconds there.
She didn't mess with the camera at all.
But she put both of her paws up there.
No, she didn't.
Yes, she did.
No, she didn't.
She sat right behind the camera and went like this.
Ripley, the hay is not for you. We also have guinea pigs. Ripley, hey. Damn it. Okay.
Also, she's friends with our guinea pigs, though. So that's us. We did the good of the movie, the bad of the movie, and this wasn't really geeky, so it doesn't apply. But, you know, that's okay.
Well, it's more, we talked about the... no, whatever. We'll figure this stuff out.
Don't judge us.
Judge away. I really don't care.
Don't judge us. I'm a sensitive soul.
I will say this, though. If you somehow haven't seen the movie...
like me.
Check it out. Check it out.
Or don't. It's okay. There's better things out there nowadays.
There is. But, I mean, it was a huge... You know, it was huge in the pop culture icon, conscious before. So, yeah, I definitely recommend checking it out. Just because of how big of an impact it did have on pop culture.
I never would have checked it out if it weren't for him. So, do what you do.
And I only got it for like $5, so...
At my word!
Anyways. Alright, so I guess we'll see you next time. What are we doing next time?
Iron Man. We're gonna start our once a week Marvel movies up until
Endgame.
The final one.
Well, not the final one. Endgame. But yeah, next time we're doing Iron Man. Alright, well, that's...
I hope you do.
Hopefully we do better next time.
We'll actually play it a little bit more next time.